Enhance your experience by becoming a supporting member. Gain access to unseen videos and video requests. 3-day free trial by visiting zionmembership.com. Chosen ones, empaths. After a relationship ends with a narcissist in your life, a range of thoughts come to your head. You want revenge. You want payback. You want to make them suffer. You want to make them hurt the same way that you do. And we're not talking about inflicting violence or anything, but you want them to, be accountable for their actions. And the thing is, right, you honestly don't have to plot or scheme or do anything at all. You don't have to lift a finger. All you need to do is sit back and relax. Honestly, no debt in the universe goes unpaid. These narcissists that are involved in your life, they can't cause this destruction without repercussions. There are serious repercussions for their actions. You've got to understand that you, as a chosen one and an empath that you are highly favored in the universe by God. You're highly favored. You're highly favored by the universe, by your angels. You're highly favored because you're a good soul, right? And them messing with a good soul comes back on them tenfold, and the thing is you may not always see it, right? And that's why you should stop looking for it. You should know it's happening. You need to get a knowing that it is happening. Stop looking for it, right? You can't believe them. Remember, they're liars. They lie. They masquerade with artificial light. If you're looking on their social media hoping to see something, they lie about everything, right? They keep their real feelings hidden. A lot of the torment that happens to them is beneath the surface, right? Now, what you got to understand is these narcissists that are involved in your life, karma will affect them, or God will affect them, or the universe will affect them, however you view it, right? Let's just call it karma for the sake of the video, but karma will affect them. They'll feel frustrated. They'll feel, aggravated. They won't know why they're feeling this way. They'll feel this way in their spirit, in their soul, in their daily existence. They'll feel like this in their daily existence. They'll feel frustrated and aggravated. They won't know why, and it's their demons that are tormenting them. You see, their own demons will torment them day in and day out. You see, they had an assignment. They had a duty to uphold. These narcissists that are involved in your life, and you see, they were sent your way for your destruction, and ultimately, I'm going a bit off track in this video, but really the ultimate agenda of the devil and these narcissists that are involved in your life is for the victim to commit suicide. Now, please, if any of you have suicidal ideations or are thinking about on a really serious note, if any of you are experiencing that, there are call lines that you can phone up, or no one's going to call you a crazy person because it exists. There's a lot of people in the world that have had suicidal ideations. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. You're an abuse victim. But what I would suggest you do, right, is if that stuff is occurring in your mind, please, if you're listening to this during the day, please just try to get through till the evening, and then get through to the next morning, and have a cup of coffee in the morning, and just prolong, don't, if you're getting all of these thoughts in your head about various ways to do things and suicidal ideations, just prolong it and try to get through to the next day, right? Because by the time the next day comes, you'll feel easier. So if you're listening to this at night, please try to get a good night's sleep tonight, right? The best you can, and wake up in the morning or tomorrow when you wake up, and things will feel different. When it's safe for you to go out, go and have a walk. If it's a good time for you to go out and have a walk, go out and have a walk. It will release endorphins, you know, things of that nature, right? Because you got to understand, they're going to face, for everything they did to you, right? All this pain that all the tears that you shed, everything, every bit of pain that you went through, they're going to experience, they've got a debt on their heads, right? Karma's got them in this, in a scope, right? They're in God's scope, they're in the universe's scope, right? And they've got a heavy debt on their heads, a big price on their heads, right? No debt in the universe goes unpaid. They will be held accountable for what they did to you. You don't need to lift a finger. You need to focus on yourself now. You know, you need to be kind to yourself, right? You don't want to be thinking about suicidal ideations or things of that nature, because it's not going to achieve anything. Even if you've got no one around you now, or no friends, no family, you know, you've got people in the future that will need you, in your future to come. You know, you've got people that will depend on you and need you. So you, please, you know, don't go down that pathway, you know. But sorry, I had to go on to that topic because every time I bring it up, I need to bring up that I need to address these issues, because it's a very serious issue. It exists in victims of narcissistic abuse. You're not alone with it, you know. You're not alone with it. There's many victims of narcissistic abuse that go through this suicidal ideation, suicidal tendencies and things like that. Things occurring in their heads. You know, it's very natural. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. You know, there's nothing wrong with you. It's natural. But that's why I'm saying just get into the thing of prolonging it, you know, getting through to the next day, because you'll feel relief, you know. And honestly, I just go back and touch on this subject for a little bit longer. You know, if the people that have gone through with these things, you know, there's some that have survived after, and they're so glad that they actually did survive, you know. But the ones that have actually gone through with it and they can't continue to tell their story, you know, they may have changed their minds halfway through. You know, that's the thing. You'll go through with something like that, and sometimes you can't come back. But there have been people that have that have had suicidal ideations and acted on them, and they've regretted it, you know. But they've lived to tell the story and live another day, you know. So just understand that, you know, talking to someone, if you can talk to someone, there's free helplines. You only have to Google it, you know. It's helplines you can talk to and stuff like that. There's not going to send people around with white coats to come and collect you. But, you know, you can explain, you know, talking to someone, or it's a very serious issue. It's a very serious issue. But going back to the subject of no need for revenge on narcissist, karma will see to it. Karma is going to see to it. They're going to be held accountable. I promise you, they're going to be held accountable for every single thing they've done. Every single tear that was shed, every single pain in your heart, everything. They will be accountable for everything. You know, they're going to face this in their living existence. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It'll take 2 seconds of your time. Just like this video showed up for you, help it show up for others in the community that it may be of benefit to. Remember, if you would like a one-to-one session with myself, you can always reach out with the link in the description box. But remember, look, you know, day in and day out, they're going to be feeling frustrated, aggravated. They're not going to be knowing that their demons are tormenting them, right? They'll be irritable and not know why, you see? They'll fall into these self-destructive lifestyles, right? That's what you've got to understand. You was like their safety net, right? You provided support, comfort, you know, a place of safety for them. They fall into these self-destructive patterns of behavior, risky behavior. You know, they'll fall into these patterns of behavior in their daily lives, which, you know, induce the frustration and the aggravation and the demons taunting them through this self-destructive lifestyle that they begin to live. They begin to live, you know. They might have new supplies, you know, and these new supplies are encouraging this self-destructive lifestyle. They fall into really toxic patterns and ways of living life, you see, after they've been with the chosen one and the empath. The chosen one and the empath provided them a safe place, you know, made them feel comfortable. You looked after them, you helped them. You see, they haven't got that around them now when they're out in the world. That's part of their karma coming back to them, you see, and they may be with a new supply that don't really care about them, you know, and they don't really even care about the new supply, and they're in this toxic relationship, and they just fall into these, you know, destructive lifestyle habits and you know, self-destructive path. But all the while they'll be, you know, frustrated, aggravated, demons tormenting them. They'll be irritable, not know why. They're confused of what's going on with them. They're falling into this self-destructive lifestyle. You know, realistically, they're their own worst enemy. That's how karma affects them. They become their own worst enemy. And, you know, this is the thing, is, you know, regardless of how it ended, discard, reverse discard, or you cut them off because they become too toxic, you know, pretty quickly, you know, they get curious, you know, because life's not working out for them in the way they thought life would work out for them had they separated from you. You know, they had a visualization of how life would be without you, you know, and it seemed like the grass would be greener and everything would be rosy and lovely and everything like that. And they get curious to see how you're doing, you know, after your separation. Once you've gone east, they've gone west, and you've utilized no contact, you haven't communicated to them for a little while, you know, very quickly they'll get curious, and they begin to wonder how you're doing. And if you're on social media, or they've got ways of finding out what you're doing, like for example, if you've got associates of yours that communicate with them, you know, or, to be honest, these narcissists that are involved in your life resort to, like, there's certain websites and things that you can find information out about people. There's a lot of data, you know, about individuals online, and you can find out an awful lot of data online. These narcissists know these sites. I don't actually know these sites, but I've heard of narcissists involved in people's life going on these websites to find out information about, you know, former suppliers and stuff like that. So they resort to that. So, you know, even if you're not on social media or you don't have any associates, they have ways of trying to find out information. And when they realize that you're not suffering, when they realize you're not suffering without them, yeah, all of their irritability, you know, their aggravation, their frustration will intensify their own suffering, you know. When they're, you know, this will intensify their own suffering, realizing that you're not suffering, you know. And this is, you know, this is why you need to, like, be sure that you remain focused, you know, because you need to realize that you are their karma too. And that's why I touched on earlier, for those that maybe haven't got to this part in the video, I hope you have. But when I was touching on the suicidal ideations, you need to realize, you know, where you're going in your life, you know, don't worry about them. They've got what's coming to them. But where you're going in your life and the good things that are ahead of you, and your life's going to open up for brighter days, even if you're in, you know, you feel at your lowest at this moment in time, life will open up for you. You are going to heal. It's a gradual healing process that you go through, and life does improve, you know, and you are part of their karma. You see, where how your life improves and you going on to better things, you know, this is why you don't have to lift a finger, you know, you don't even have to, this is going to naturally happen for you because, you know, you reap what you sow, you know, you was actually sowing positive seeds with this narcissist, even though it's not wasted, because you actually reap the benefits, you know, of the fruits of your labor, like the effort that you put into this narcissist that was involved in your life. You'll reap benefits in another form. It will come back to you in another form. It could come back to you in a future person that you meet. It could come back to you in a future person that you meet, and also, you know, a career path or a business or a family or whatever. It could come in a myriad of ways. It could come in a lot of ways, right? There's things that I done through my life, and I've mentioned this a few times, but I have to reinforce it. There's things that I've done in my life, like many years ago, right? And I had no intention when I done these things that it would come back to me, right? I had no intention that these things would come back to me. And like when I done what I did, right? Like I had no intention of receiving something back. I wasn't even that switched on about like reaping and sowing, and like I wasn't really thinking about that. That wasn't my intention behind why I did what I did. But like I'm telling you, like I'm not saying that you're gonna have to wait a number of years for it to come back to you. But for me, I'm glad it actually took the amount of time that it did to come back to me, because I wasn't prepared to receive the blessing, had it come back to me too soon. I wouldn't have recognized it. I wouldn't have seen it. I might have had dodgy people around me at the time, um, but the way that it worked out, things come back to me in another way, a lot, not too much further down the line, but, some years later, come back to me from things that I used to do, and that's why, things do come back to you. Things do come back to you for things that you've done. You were actually sowing positive seeds in this narcissist, so it's not wasted. You don't need to think that it was wasted. You were used and abused. You have the last laugh. You always have the last laugh. The chosen one, the empath, has the last laugh. The chosen one, the empath, has the last discard, regardless how it ended. You have the last laugh, because you end up benefiting from everything that you poured into this narcissist that was involved in your life in another form in your life. Like they don't benefit. What did they benefit from? They abused you, they misled you, they deceived you. God's not bestowing blessings upon them because of this. The universe is not bestowing blessings upon them because of this. They haven't incurred good karma because of this. So they're not favored in this universe, on this earth. They're not favored, right? But you will receive blessings back for the things that you did, right? Like it's just the way it goes, like I'm not saying that you have to wait such a long time. Like they say, oh, if you help someone cross the street, then maybe someone will help you cross the street. That's simple terms of looking at karma, right? But like if you help someone cross the street, like an elderly person cross the street, then someone when you're elderly might help you cross the street, right? It's not like that. It's not always like that. It can be like that, but sometimes you do things in a way and it will come back in another way to you to benefit you. You see, it's a lot more complex, right? But that's a simple way of looking at karma. Like, you do one thing and you get it back. But when you do your good deeds, like when you done these good deeds towards a narcissist, you wasn't thinking, oh, I'm doing A, B, and C, and D because I'm going to get this back in my life. Like, you wasn't doing it with a motive or an agenda. You was just generally like being kind, being loyal, being loving, being pure. And you wasn't really thinking about what you're going to get back. But I promise you, you will actually receive, blessings back from everything that you poured forth into this narcissist and any toxic person in your life. Any toxic person where you was actually trying to do a good deed and you was doing good things for them, and they used you or manipulated you or deceived you or betrayed you. They're getting debts on their head of karma, and you'll get good karma. You'll get the positive karma coming back to you, blessings coming back to you, blessings from God, blessings from the universe, however you want to look at it. You'll get something coming back to you in a good way, right? So look out for that, because it will come back to you. And when it comes back to you, be like, oh, okay, it's actually remarkable, when you see something come back to you that you're like, wow, I done this then, and this has come back into my life now. It's really remarkable. It's a really remarkable feeling, and even me bringing up that, I need to reinforce that in my mind on a daily basis, because I had no intentions when I was sowing good seeds, some years back, for it to come back, full circle back into my life. So, but remember that you are their karma. So where your life is leading, and you are going to be walking into a path, or a righteous path, full of light, full of love, You are going to be going onto a good path now. I know you might be hurt or you might be in pain, but you are going on to a better journey now. And you needed this transition, you needed this separation, you needed this ending of the relationship to put you onto this path that you're going down now. You can't, not everyone can come with you, and the narcissist is one of those people. They're not coming with you across on that road. They're not destined for that. That's not where their life's going. That's not where God's ordaining them to go or willing them to go. That's not where the universe is ordaining them or willing them to go. That's not where karma wants them to be. You're going on a better journey now without them, right? And they're out there, frustrated, aggravated. Their demons tormenting them. They're irritable. They don't even know why they're irritable. They're in a self-destructive lifestyle. They're their own worst enemy, and they've realized that you're not suffering as they expected you to be, and this has intensified all of their suffering. So you need to understand that you're heading for a better place, and their anticipation, if that's the right word, their anticipation of where you'd be, they thought you'd be in a really bad place. So even if you are low or you feel like you're in a bad place, the narcissist had worse intentions for your life, and they thought you'd be worse off than you actually are, right? And you need to understand this is what's coming. I should have probably said this earlier, but this is what's leading to the demons of theirs tormenting them, or the negative energy or the negative forces actually tormenting the narcissist that was involved in your life, because they failed their assignment. Like I was touching on earlier with the suicidal ideations and people that have suicide, the ultimate assignment of the devil, or this negative energy or these negative forces, is for the victim of narcissistic abuse to take their own life. That's what they want, because that's what the devil wants, or the negative forces or the negative energy. That's what the agenda is, right? And they use these narcissists as pawns or vessels to carry out this dark work, right? So when they realize that, these demons realize that the narcissist hasn't done their duty and failed their assignment of not only suicide, right, but they've also failed their assignment of not ultimately destroying you, and you're going on to better things and you're living a better life, and you've got clarity about the relationship. You're actually coming to terms and being glad that the relationship ended, and you're seeing the positives that are coming in your life. You might not see them yet, but they will come in, and you'll be like, wow, this makes sense. This relationship needed to end. You're going on to these new things now, and it'll really manifest into your life, and you really get clarity, and you'll be like, that makes sense why the relationship needed to end. These devils are not happy with the narcissists that are involved in your life, right? And they will increase the torment on the narcissist. So this is all karma, right, coming for the narcissist. And this is all without you lifting a finger. You don't need to go around to their house and smash their windows. You don't need to go around to their house and slash their car tires. You don't need to go around, and you don't need to do nothing. It's happening in their own life, right? This is without you lifting a finger, So, on top of all of this that I should have probably touched on earlier, is on top of all this aggravation, frustration, irritability, demons tormenting them, they are with a new supply, and they are realizing you were the best thing that ever happened to them. They have that in their minds. They know that now, these narcissists that are involved in your life. Don't let that be a reason to fool you. Like they've cleansed their heart, and now they're a good person, and now they've realized what a blessing you were. If you got back involved in a relationship with them, they'll just get back into the using and abusive cycle, but they're feeling sorry for themselves that now their life has turned to shit, and they've realized that how much of a blessing you actually was in their life, and how supportive you was in their life, and honestly, you are the best thing that ever happened to them. They are aware of that, and they won't find something like you offered them ever again in this life. It's very rare for a narcissist that was involved in your life to even come across a chosen one or an empath. It's a very rare occurrence, right? It's not as common as we think. It seems very common because there's a lot of narcissists in the world, But not all narcissists end up with an empath or a chosen one, right? This is not the way it is, right? They maybe come across one in their lifetime, you know, and they always fail to appreciate the chosen one or empath. They always fail to correct the error of their ways, and they are conscious because they're with a dusty new supplier now, you know, most likely. They are conscious that you are the best thing that could ever happen to them, and they're seeing their life turn to shit. They're seeing their life crumble apart, you know. So honestly, you just remember, you know, there's no need for revenge on a narcissist. Karma will see to it for you. You know, you don't have to lift a finger. Remember, no debt in the universe goes unpaid. You know, these lot have incurred heavy debts on their heads. You know, not that, you know, someone's going to go and do them harm, but they're in karma's scope, or they're in God's scope, they're in the universe's scope. They've been doing badness, and no debt in the universe goes unpaid. They will be held accountable for their actions. You know, they will feel frustrated, aggravated. You know, their demons tormenting them day in and day out. They'll be irritable and not know why. You know, they'll fall into this self-destructive lifestyle. They become their own worst enemy. And when they realize you're not suffering, that will intensify their own suffering, you know. Just be sure to remain focused, chosen ones and empaths. You are their karma too, like I clarified in the video. You are their karma. Where your life's heading for the better, you know, you are their karma. And even if you are alone at this moment in time, you have got people ahead of you that do care about you. If any of you are suffering with suicidal ideations, remember what I said about getting through till tomorrow, you know, getting through to the next day, you know, prolong it, get through to the next day. When it's safe for you, go for a walk. It releases endorphins. Walking's, it really helps. By the time you come back from the walk, you'll be in a different mindset. And remember, this narcissist that was involved in life has failed their assignment to destroy you, right? They failed their assignment to destroy you. You know, these demons will torment them for that. And they honestly are conscious. Very quickly, they realize this. Very quickly after the relationship ends, they realize you were the best thing that ever happened to them. They are conscious of that. They have a stark reality in their face every day that this new supply is not at your level, right? So they're fully conscious of that just with the new supply, and also where their lives are leading, you know, because there was a lot of benefits you brought to their general well-being in life, and without you in it, without you providing that general well-being to their life, they're fully conscious of this, and they know that you were the best thing they ever had. So anyway, thanks for listening today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you want to donate, you don't have to, but if you'd like to support the channel, you can. Links in the description box below. For more narcissism-based content, check out our other channel. Links in the description box. Please visit the forums. One of them is Tips to Heal, and I'd love to find out what helps you on your journey. Please book a healing session with me if you need advice or some light shed on your situation. The Empath Monthly group meeting is coming up at the end of the month. Limited space is available. There's a WhatsApp group for survivors to stay in touch. I'm also doing email consultations if you need a plan of action. The links for all I've mentioned are in the description box below. If you'd like to know more about life without you, the narcissist can't handle it, click this video here. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.